Welcome back to my credit card breakdowns, episode 2. This is going to be the Blue Cash Preferred, one of the weirdest credit cards, to be quite honest with you. I really think this is one of the weirdest credit cards because it is very unique in its benefits, but at the same time, it's like one little spiff away from being like a top 5 or 10 credit card for the vast majority of people. So we're gonna take a look at it. So I already have the BCE, so it's not showing the intro bonus on here, but I believe it's like a typical like 3 to 500 whatever for like a mid-level card, right? So it's like 3,500. So you're gonna get that regular intro bonus after $1,000 in spend, which is pretty normal as well, right? I wouldn't even say low, but 1,000 in 6 months, that's like okay. That's pretty easy, right? So this card has a $95 annual fee, which puts it in that mid-tier level. You know, an ISG Premier card is $95 as well. And that is, to me, a really good credit card. It's the highest level ISG card. You get a lot of value from it. You know, some other $95 annual fee cards like the Citi, Strata, you know, you got some really good cards at $95 annually, and those cards tend to have pretty big benefits. Like I know the Strata, or I think it was the Strata Elite by Citi before. When I got it, it was at like 75k intro bonus or something like that, you know, which was huge. Compared to this, you know, this is not a big intro bonus. And going through some of the benefits, I don't know if it has, you know, value like, for example, an ISG does. You know, ISG is obviously a hotel card, so it differs in that way. You know, ISG with the anniversary night, with the status. So it obviously is a different card, you know, hotel versus, you know, everyday cashback. But we're gonna look at it. So this is where this card shines, is the multiplier. So that's another reason why it's very unique, is because a lot of great cards, you know, especially higher level cards, they don't shine on their multipliers. You know, platinum cards don't shine as much in their multipliers as they do with status, credits, lounges, stuff like that. You know, it's mostly, you know, the Discover cards, the Freedom Flex, things like that, that hyper focus on multipliers. But this card has, you know, very good multipliers, but it has a $95 annual fee, which I'm gonna get back to, right? So the multipliers are among the best in the industry. 6% cash back on groceries is the highest out of any of the major banks. I think it might be higher on like a Costco or AARP or some shit like that. Possibly, I'm not sure, but I know those are higher on certain categories. But 6% back on groceries is a ton. That is a ton. It's up to 6K a year, but still good. 6% cash back on select streaming subscriptions, which is kind of that, you know, it looks good, but then, you know, big number, but streaming subscriptions is not going to get you that much. 3% cash back on transit, so taxis, rideshare, parking, tolls, trains, buses, and more. Pretty good. Obviously going to be highly dependent on where you live, geography, but very good as well. But because it's rideshare too, so that's gonna be Uber and all that. Pretty good. Another big spot is 3% back on gas. So 3% back on gas is another one. I think I've always thought gas and the grocery multipliers was where this card shined the most. You know, two of the most consistent things, obviously universal, food, gas. You know, it gives it something very, you know, very high value for majority of people. And then 1% back on everything else, which is kind of weird because you would have thought that this card would at least have, you know, 1.5 or something. This card shines in its multipliers. It's the big multiplier card. You know, you would think it at least have, you know, 1.5, 1.3, do something else other than 1%. But okay. Then you got a $10 monthly streaming credit for Disney, which, you know, at this point I feel like every single membership comes with a streaming credit, so that feels kind of standard. And it's only $10, so I'm pretty sure you get ads on that. I'm not sure, I don't have Disney, but that's pretty much it, right? You have your standard events and whatnot that come with like every Amex card. So like I said, the meat and potatoes of this card is the fact that it has 3% on gas, 6% on groceries, up to 6K, and then the fact that it has a $95 annual fee. So that's the thing I wanted to get back to. It has a $95 annual fee, but I don't think this card has the value of other cards in its class. I would consider $95 annual fee at a mid-level credit card. You know, no, it's not no annual fee, and then it's not, you know, hundreds like 250, 350. There's not a lot of cards that are like 150. I remember the Amex Green used to be 150. I don't think it is anymore. It might still be, but that's like also like a mid-level card. But I don't know, I think this card really should be like $49 a year. I don't know, I don't think it is. I think it does have ample benefits to be an annual fee credit card, but at the same time it is not at the level of a $95 annual fee credit card. I think, you know, again, I don't think Amex has any cards that is, you know, between like $90 and $0 or $1 and $90, like in that middle area. But I feel like this really is a card like that. And I think the thing is as well, I think if this card went to $49, cut it in half, like, you know, lessen that annual fee, I think people would be all over this card. Again, I don't know if they could do no annual fee, because this card does have heavy, you know, multipliers. It really can't be no annual fee either, because no annual fee is a whole nother ball game. Those cards operate at, you know, 2% on everything max. You know, this card can't be no annual fee. But I really think if this was, I think you could market it great at 30, 40, you know, possibly 20. I don't know if that's possible, but at least half of what it is right now. And I think a lot of people would go to this card. It is very people friendly, consumer friendly. If you just plaster that everywhere, 6% on gas, 3% on gas, 6% on groceries, like I think the average everyday people that aren't even that into credit cards will swarm this card. And that just goes to why I'm calling this the weirdest credit card. It is a very weird credit card. I've always thought this card was very weird. It's like something, a spiff away from just being a top 5 at least credit card, right? It could be so, I think people would swarm this card if it was at least half the price it is right now. But at that $95 annual fee amount, it puts itself with IHG Premier. It puts itself on that level of, you know, Marriott Bonvoy, and these other things. Even Chase Sapphire Preferred, I believe, is $95 annual fee, and that is, you know, to me on another level from this. So I want to know what you guys think. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I feel like it's really making sense. Like this card, you know, it is not on the level of a $95 annual fee card, but definitely can't be no annual fee either. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Really interested in this card. Very weird card, unique card. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate it.